It's all about The Conjuring. The Conjuring 3 rated R for terror, violence and disturbing images. Shock horror.
Fantastic, man. I like that's music to my ears.
But this is coming in from Screen Rant, John.
Cannot get this mouse cursor.
Listen, this is I've got a couple of paragraphs here to run over, and I might get caught up in a lot of crap here that's got nothing to do with the actual story, but The Conjuring 3 is officially rated R for terror, violence and disturbing images. The first film in what would later become the Conjuring universe was released in 2013 and grossed a massive 319 million worldwide on a budget of just 20 million.
Good movies, man.
Yeah, the huge success of the first Conjuring film indeed proved that director James Wan, who also created the seminal Saw franchise, had the magic touch when it came to horror. The Conjuring 2 then came along in 2016 and barely surpassed the first movie's box office total by taking 320 million. But even before then, the Conjuring universe had been kicked off with a 2014's Annabelle, which itself spawned a pair of sequels. 2018's The Nun, which was
good.
And 2019's The Curse of La Llorona. Also live inside the ever-expanding Conjuring universe. John, in June 2021, the third proper Conjuring film will at last arrive under the official title
June 23rd. Wow,
not long, John.
It's not far away at all.
Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Stephen, it's by all accounts a very interesting story. I think it's based on a possession. Yeah. There's some what is the name for that? I'm completely blanking on it. When you perform, you get the spirit out. Why am I blanking on that name? An exorcism. Yes, it's based on that. I think, Stephen, the spin-off movies have been terrible in this universe. God awful, horrific. I don't want to see another Annabelle movie ever again. It's all based on the Warrens. They are the people I'm intrigued by. They're the people I'm invested in. Patrick Wilson, I keep wanting to say Stewart, I don't know why. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga.
Can you do that Patrick Stewart meme, John?
Oh, I can't. The little... It's creepy as hell, man. Steve, we were speaking of Patrick Stewart the other day. I hate James Corden with everything in my stomach. I don't know why. But when he tried to take on... Patrick Stewart tried to take on James Corden. Stand-up comedian. He fucking skewered him, Stephen. He skewered him. You do not take on a stand-up comedian. They are sharper than sharp.
If he's not that funny, he's still sharper than
something about a belly. It's like, what are you doing, Patrick? Step the fuck down. No chance. He's going to kill you. You're an old man. Forget about it. But Stephen, it's nothing to do with Patrick Stewart. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, they are the compelling watches. And the first two Conjuring movies were dynamite. I loved them. In fact, they were loosely based on real events, but they added some fantasy into it, and it was James Wan, and it was brilliant, and there were scares in there, and it was intelligent. I'm hoping this is the same. I don't think it's James Wan that's involved in this one. I think it's another director. But the fact it's been rated R, it's music to my ears, man. For violence and disturbing imagery. That's what I'm all about, Stephen. The nun swinging from the tree. Brief little glimpse. Some disturbing imagery, I can't even say it, has been involved in this franchise before. I don't know what the ratings were on the previous ones. I'm hoping they were PG-13 and they went really fucking dark for this one, because I suspect it will be over after this. It will be a trilogy and they'll be done with The Conjuring, and we'll continue to get just shite spin-off movies. So, music to my ear, or ears. I've only got 2 ears, not one. Not ears. That they are going dark with this, and that they don't really care about placating the biggest amount of demographics possible. It's not like Disney here, where they have to get the eyeballs, every eyeball, young eyeballs, old eyeballs, octogenarians, little toddlers in at the theatres. This is for a specific audience, the horror audience. Cannot wait to see the movie, Stephen. Look, I've deliberately kept away. I don't know if there's been a trailer out. I've deliberately kept away from any spoilers from this movie, because I really did love the first two ones. The second one was based on a Yorkshire haunting. It was a sort of poltergeist, an old guy who died in his armchair and was haunting these little kids.
You don't want too much given away.
No, you don't, Stephen, because I don't want the story. I think the first one was based loosely on...
We talk about this, John, when we do the Halloween trailer reactions and stuff like that, they'll give you the best bits because that's all they can do.
Stephen,
can't show you anything else.
In fairness to The Conjuring, though, man, it's better than those sort of cheap parlour trick horrors. Well, I hope this is. It's a little bit more.
Director is Michael Shaves.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Who also directed The Curse of La Llorona.
Was it him that's doing it? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he did a film called The Maiden and a film called Chase. Johnny's not really got a lot in his sort of back catalogue. 3 films.
Well, he's obviously got the seal of approval from James Wan. He's obviously allowed him in there. I think he's a sort of executive or just an overseeing producer in this. He's turned into more of a producer in recent years, James. He's a bit like Kevin Feige of the horror world. He started off, well, I don't know if Kevin started off as a director, but he's now a sort of producing figure. He's got his own production company, and he does the odd directing now, but he's also gave a seal of approval to this guy. I didn't like La Llorona. I thought it was shit. It wasn't enjoyable. It wasn't as bad as The Nun, but he's also seen enough in him to allow him this movie. So hopefully he's not completely dropped the ball. Hopefully the duo of Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are enough, and the story's there to make it a compelling watch. I cannot wait to see it, Stephen. You see there, man, the budgets were teeny, the profits were massive. Hopefully they can continue that on, and it doesn't give them the need to go and make shite spin-off movies. That's what I will say. I want it to be a success, but I don't want to see another Annabelle. The studio, who's the studio? I think it's Warner Brothers, because he works with Warner Brothers, James Wan. I don't know if it is though, I may be wrong. But James Wan is in bed with Warner Brothers. He does the likes of Aquaman and stuff like that. So
no wonder he's got freedom.
It's Warner Brothers.
What he brings to the table with the budget and what he brings back in. You know, no wonder he can get gigs like
Stephen,
Aquaman.
There's a synopsis there, man. Starts with, I'll bring this little screen up because it says we need to use this more and more and more.
Yeah.
I can't even read it, Stephen, because the camera's in front of me.
John, it looks weird because I'm facing away from the screen, but I'm actually looking.
You're looking at the screen.
Trust me.
Yes, it's basically says starts with a fight for the soul of a young boy, then takes them beyond anything they'd ever seen before. It marked the first time in US history that a murder suspect would claim demonic possession as a defence. So it's maybe not exorcism, but it's an interesting concept, man. You've got this sort of criminal trial, murderer claiming demonic possession. They have to investigate it. It's going to be dark, it's going to be grimy. They're going to look into the killings, I would presume, as well. I cannot wait to see this movie, man. Cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, John, it'll be very interesting. And the fact it's only
a couple of months,
2 months away, that's quite surprising. There must be a trailer out there somewhere, John, that we've just missed, which I don't mind. I don't mind at all, because I don't like watching horror trailers at all, because they've got to throw in the best bits. You can't blame them, because that's what they've got to do to sell the movie, you know, but they give it away sometimes. We've seen it before. But John, we're going to move on to our next